Your
based on what I've
bandwidth
heard
is
so
low.
Yeah, Jonathan, yes,
make
your
it official.
bandwidth's low, Jonathan.
And we are live. We're recording. Welcome, everybody. I'm just going to allow, except for myself. People sign up this week for ProbateData, so I want to welcome you aboard. So it's exciting being new members in here. And I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel to check out any of our videos there. Different classes we've done. Into ProbateData, I encourage you guys to. So everyone frozen except for me. Let me make sure that that's good.
Hey, Jonathan, if you can hear us, your bandwidth is very low for some reason.
That's very strange. Okay, let's see here. I have made all kinds of improvements. I want to make sure that the VPN is off. It is. All right, let's get through it. Let's jump in, shall we? And hopefully the bandwidth is going to improve as we get into it. So like I said, the things that I want to direct the newcomers to is basically our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ProbateData. There's a ton of great videos in there. They're the most popular webinars. We have interviews, we have how-tos, there's mail merge, there's all kinds of stuff and what you can do with the data, how to use ProbateData on the back end if you've never done that before. Most of you are just getting leads in your inbox and you're using those, which are great. And
what is the YouTube channel again?
Yeah, youtube.com/ProbateData. Let me put it in the chat real quick. Let's see here. Let's see here. Everyone in the meeting. Got it. youtube.com/ProbateData. All right. So that's a good resource. And also when you log into ProbateData.com, there's some really helpful videos in there. So today what we'll do is, I figure we do a little bit of a hybrid between like open forum. So you guys ask questions that you have based on probate data or just based on probate real estate. We'll tackle those. Usually what happens with open forums is that something really good comes out of it because we all learn together. So just give you an example. The last open forum we did, we learned a lot about text messaging. That was with, I believe his name was Dan. And he talked about how he used text messaging to reach out to people when he had their cell phone numbers to get them to respond faster and to get appointments that way. And he had a good success with that. We also learned from Don a while back. He actually emailed me the whole idea of mail merging records into emails and getting those customized emails out to people with their numbers and with their case numbers and their names and all that. So my intention is here that we similarly kind of crowdsource some new learning today, and also kind of help set the framework and set the tone. So today's topic is really about breaking the ice, and the breaking the ice with PRs, right? So it goes beyond scripting. I'm not here to tell you about scripts because you guys have your own scripts. But I'm curious to see what challenges you guys are facing, because we started the Michael Salas challenge started about a month ago, and it was a weekly challenge to make at least 50 calls, right? And it's been a mixed bag of results over the last 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks since we started this, where people either didn't make calls or they didn't mail out, they didn't send text messages, they didn't do emails. And I was asking the question, what are you doing then if you're not texting, you're not calling, you're not mailing, you're not emailing, then what are you doing? And then some of the answers that came up was, well, I'm looking for phone numbers. And I believe 2 weeks ago, we tackled that really well and successfully. I said, here's a resource on Fiverr. I'll get you 500 leads for 25 bucks. You give him the leads and he'll find you the phone numbers. He'll use TLO, BIN verified, LexisNexis, and a couple of others So that problem was out of the way. Now you have phone numbers, you have email addresses. I want to see by raise of hand or mention in the chat box, how many of you can commit to 50 calls this week? And then once you commit, then we'll figure out what the challenges are, and then we'll tackle the challenges today so you can do the actual 50 calls. Does that make sense? So if you can commit to 50 calls, put it in the chat or raise up your hands and hold up all 5 fingers. All 50 people. Show up your hand here. All right, Robin's saying I can do the problem. Patricia's in, Mario's in, Wayne is in, I like it. Patricia's in, good. Looks like I'm in. I'm holding up my hand. Glenn is in. All right. Wayne is in. Good, good, good. I'm going to watch the replay of this. I'm going to make notes of all the names and we'll watch the chat. Elizabeth Sorgen, she's in. Good. Committed to 50. Mario, good. Peter says, I'll go for 25. Peter, we won't accept that. It's either 50 or nothing. Are you in for 50? Can I hear 50, please? Paul, don't sit on the sidelines. Come on, give me your commitment.
We're going
Dennis is in. All right, Paul, what about you?
I'm not doing it. My dad died this last week, so I'm getting a personal experience. So
I'm so sorry. My condolences.
it's okay. I am very determined to make some things happen here, but I need a little bit of a timeout. So anyway, we'll keep everybody, because I believe in this program very much, even though I might look like I'm sitting out. But I've been back and forth on the road, so I want to kind of take it off so I can hear what the program's about today.
You got it, absolutely. And my condolences to the loss of your father. It's losing your father is a big loss. I lost my father 15 years ago, and it's a big framework and infrastructure that gets put into question for a man when his father dies. Obviously for a woman too, but there's something about the passing of the lineage, and you realize you're the next generation. There's a whole bunch of things that goes on there. So I wish you the best of courage and health in going through your process there. All right, so Peter, Judy's saying she's in with 50. Peter, can we get 50?
We're going camping
I
for
can't
3
accept
days.
you in the challenge unless you say you're in for 50.
Okay, then we can't do it
All
this
right.
week. We're going to be out of town for 3 days.
Okay, so Dennis is in. He says he's going through physical therapy and some meds, hopefully some good meds. So 50, but more likely 30. Hey, you know what? If you got the right meds, you can get 500, okay? So let's just say Dennis is in for 50, okay? He's in for 50. Josephine for 50 plus. All right, Josephine just upped the game. All right, so this is awesome, guys. Carissa, you're in. Lovely. I love to see that. All right, Carissa is in for 50. So here's five. We all high five each other as we do it. So next week, this is what you're gonna be looking for on everybody's video. See 50, and if you're not on video, just put 50 in the chat box. So now we have the chat record, we have the video record. I know who's in. I know who's in for 30 to 50, and for various reasons. But let's say 50. So I'm gonna hold you all accountable, not just me, the whole group. Okay, we're in this together. We're gonna push through together. So now, let's open it up. What is the #1 challenge? The #1 challenge to pick up the phone and make the call. And I will not accept that the #1 challenge is finding a phone number. I gave you that solution 2 weeks ago. And if you want to rewatch that, go back 2 weeks on Probate Data YouTube channel, watch it. There's the resource. It's Fiverr. You can find phone numbers. If you give them complete crap, you're left with 350. So you have numbers to call. So again, what's the #1 challenge for making the phone call? Because address the #1 challenge, there's nothing in your way between now and next week and hitting your 50 calls. Okay, so fear of messing up. Thank you, Martina. Thanks for being honest. Fear, what else? Fear of what? Fear of messing up. What's your #1 challenge? It seems like everyone has 0 challenges making phone calls, so we can just close the class right now. Speak up. For,
He's
okay,
thinking.
let me hear it.
Picking up the phone.
Picking up the phone. It's too heavy, right? It weighs 500 pounds. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a few exercises. We're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. We're going to pick up that phone. It weighs 500 pounds. I get it. Fear, 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 rejection, fear of rejection, getting started. Okay. Elizabeth, what is getting started? What does that mean? What's the #1 challenge in getting started?
It's just like the gym.
It's not getting started that's your challenge. It's what's stopping you from getting started. What is your #1 challenge?
I don't know, just probably like everybody, rejection, everybody's gonna be mad, they're saying don't call me, that kind of thing, you know. I don't know.
Once you're in, right? Once you got your groove on,
Oh, I think yeah, but I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna call every morning. My internet must be bad.
okay, so let's go through the right list.
You're muted.
Hey, Jonathan, we can't hear you if you're still up.
Muted. No.
No, I can't hear him.
No, Jonathan's it looks like he's got bad bandwidth today for some reason.
He's muted.
I think he's actually dropped the call.
Yeah, it's probably dropped out.
Yeah, yesterday we had another call, and his internet was not good.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go. Bandwidth's not there. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, do any of you
Oh, bye-bye.
feel like that you're not, may not have all the answers that they need? Maybe don't know the material well enough? You do, Linda?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One is court confirmation issues in Oregon, which I can't seem to get an answer from the Real Estate Association, and we've been told to check that all out on our own. So I feel like I don't know how the court confirmation process works in Oregon yet, and I can't seem to get any answers about that.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned about calling myself an expert until I find out something basic like that.
Yeah.
Right. Have you called the court?
I've called the real estate agency. I've called the Oregon Association of Realtors. Nobody seems to want to call me back. Nobody seems to want to deal with the question. So if anybody knows the answer to those, 10 questions or whatever in class number 5 about court confirmation in Oregon, I would love to have an email or call about that.
Have you called the courthouse yourself?
To ask them how court confirmation works? No, I haven't.
They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're very nice about giving out information.
Okay. That's kind of like my last little piece while I'm putting together all of my materials and stuff. And I feel like I hate to start picking up the phone if I don't know how to deal with a basic issue like that.
Yeah, I understand. That's kind of where I am too. Well, if they have questions about, all these talking points that we've been giving, I just feel like I have to study more. And the more I study, the less I call.
Does anybody have,
Yeah.
Is anybody successful at calling and setting appointments? Like, who has more success? And what is the key?
I don't.
All right. Can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry. I'm back. I'm doing this I'm telling off my phone now. It sounds like I just got in. I heard like who's successful in making calls. So somebody is, right? Somebody's making it happen. I'm just gonna.
Somebody must be, but I haven't been successful.
Oops, sorry. Okay, so where I was getting into was this: the calls. One call is not going to be enough, right? So we've had people like Deborah or Lydia and other people on our meetings. These people have been with us for 7-8 years, 5 years. Minerva. These are the ones that are making the calls, that are sending out the letters. So again, making calls is in concert with sending out letters and doing everything else. But the thing that you're most afraid of is the fear of rejection and fear of being called certain things, right? So yes, you might get called an ambulance chaser. And if you haven't been called an ambulance chaser yet, you haven't made enough calls. Because that's the kind of like, that's the inauguration. That's basically like, okay, now you've made enough calls where one of those happened. But you guys know this from being in the game for a while. Like if you're new to this is an education for you. But for those who've been at it for a while, when you guys are out there doing real estate, no matter what the market, if the market's hot, you're cold calling people, trying to get them to sell their homes, right? And according to NAR, only 6% of current homeowners will sell within 12 months. Versus in probate, you know that 90% of the people that are going through probate will sell within 12 months. So if you and I went fishing, I'd say, look, there's 90 fish over here and there's 6 fish over there. Where are we going to go? We're going to go over there, right? 90% of people in probate are going to sell within 12 months. So when you're calling, the first thing is you have to understand is you're calling from a place of service, right? They're going through something. And of course, the last person they want to talk to right now is probably you, because they don't know you. So start with a simple fact like, hi, this is Jonathan. You don't know me, but the reason why I'm calling is I noticed you're going through probate. Yeah, I've heard from you before. I don't have time. I don't want to talk to you, whatever. I understand. I'll try again later. The thing is, like Elizabeth said before, it's like going to the gym, right? I haven't been to the gym for a while, I'll be honest with you, but the thought of going to the gym kind of excites me. But so I was like, well, I'm not going to go to the gym, but I'll start biking. I'll go on long walks. I'll start doing squats at home. And I like going to the gym, but I don't trust the gym quite yet for sanitary reasons, COVID and all that, but I miss lifting weights. But I start getting into the idea of exercise, right? So the same thing with phone calls. When you're making these calls, it's not all do or die. Like if they don't like you on this call, if they don't pick up on this call, if they don't set an appointment in this call, that's not the end of the deal. That's not the end of the lead. That just means that you have more calls to make. Now, the biggest fear that you guys, that I see in the chat, that many people are going through is the fear of rejection. And the fear of rejection is right up there with the fear of public speaking and fear of death, fear of not mattering, right? But honestly, I got to tell you, the reason you became certified, most of you are certified CPRES agents, is because you did want to matter in these people's lives. You did want to have an impact on their lives. You did want to help them get from here to there. You understand what they're going through. They've never gone through probate. They never experienced probate. They're probably going through this first time and they're scared. They don't know what's going on. And you need to empathize with that. And I always say, you want to call and be on a mission. Be mission-driven, not commission-driven. The reason why the phone weighs 500 pounds and you can't pick it up is because you're not clear on your why. You're not clear on your mission. You're making it about you and how afraid you are and how you don't want to be called certain things you don't want to be hung up on, right? So now that we've removed the fear of rejection, it's all of a sudden, it's about a mission. So replace rejection, fear of rejection with mission. If you were in a mission, and you only had, say, I only got 2 years left in me. Well, hopefully you have many, many more years, right? We all do. Let's just put that down, right? But let's just play a hypothetical. I'm on a 2-year-long mission. I only have 2 years where I can play this game. I want to play it full out. Doesn't mean my life's going to end in 2 years, but I want to play this full out for 2 years. What do I want to see? What do I want to accomplish? Why do I want to accomplish this? And don't make it about the money. Yes, the money will come, and we all need money to exist and to get things done and provide for our loved ones, provide for ourselves, save for college, pay off debt, buy a house, buy a car, save for your grandchildren. Whatever your reason is, it's valid. Just know what your reason is. It can't be for paying the bills only, because now you're reacting. When you're just thinking about, I got to make money so I can pay the bills, you're reacting to what's coming your way. And then from reacting comes anxiety. and you're now circumstance driven rather than mission driven. Try this on for this week. I want you to pick up the phone. When you pick up the phone and look yourself in the mirror and say, I am on a mission, right? I am on a mission to help these people that are going through probate. Think about the families. And if you've ever lost a loved one, or you know people that have lost a loved one, and Paul, you're going through this right now, you know the cloud that's hanging around the family. You know what's going on. Empathize with that, align with that, understand what they're going through, and understand that what you're offering is helpful. You're not asking, say, can I list your property? You're asking them and saying, I understand what you're going through. In fact, that's why I got certified in this, because I really want to help people that are going through probate. Now, besides real estate, what else can I help you? What's your number one challenge? I asked you guys, what's your number one challenge in making these 50 calls? And you thought about it, thought about number one challenge. It's fear of rejection. The phone weighs too much. You came up with something, right? It didn't take you 10 seconds to come up with something. So when you're on the phone with people, like Brad always says, you get them talking, you say, well, I'm just curious, before we hang up, what is your number one challenge that you're going through right now? You might get, that's none of your business, bye. Okay. You call 2 weeks later, a week later, you call again, right? They might be going through a situation that has nothing to do with you. You just called at a bad time. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean what you're doing is bad. That just means your timing was off. So you try again at a different time. Instead of calling in the evening, maybe you try them in the morning. If you call them in the morning, maybe you call them in the evening. If you call during the week, maybe you call on a weekend. Your timing was a little bit off. And I can promise you, you guys know this from experience, I can promise you, when you are leading with a mission and the right intention, your energy is going to be different. You're going to come across differently. The attention, your shoulders are going to relax. You're like, I'm here to help you. I just want to help you get through this. Why do you care about what I go through? Well, I know that your grandmother passed away. She had a house on 123 Main Street here in Orange County. That happens to be in my market. I care about my community. I really want to help you and the entire state of your grandmother get to a positive resolution. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice. I had just seen this several times before, and the road ahead can be a little bit bumpy. I want to be there for you. I want to help you, right? Now, have you decided what you want to do with this state? What's the biggest challenge that you're going through right now? And then you listen. Oh, the place is a mess. I understand. Yeah, it's difficult. Have you taken out the things that are meaningful to you? Have you and then you look at the paperwork, you see they have 3 other beneficiaries. Have you and your cousins and your brother and sister, have you gone through what's the things that you want to keep? Okay, now do you need help with trash removal? Or do you need to do an estate sale? I don't know, I haven't thought about it. Okay, fair enough. What is your number one challenge you have right now? Always comes back to that. Oh, I don't know what to do with taxes, or I just can't get everyone on the same page, or we don't know what to do with the house. We're thinking about renting it. We're thinking about selling it. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, those are all viable questions, and I understand you're going. Those are some big decisions you have to make. How can I help you get you through this? Get them to talk. And then like Brad says, would it be okay? What's the word he uses? He says something like, I'd like to apply for the job to sell the home for you, or something like that. Like he's applying for a job. Like he uses a really good, we have to go back and rewatch some of his previous classes, but he says something that's really smart, and it's direct, but it's not too, like he says something like, would it be okay with you if I sold the house for you? Would it be okay if I apply for the job to sell the house for you, or something like that, right? So anyway, so that's your number one challenge in making these next 50 calls. The fear of rejection, we just addressed it, but I want to talk and hear more from you guys. What else? Like if we want to peel the layer away, what's the next layer? If we remove rejection, what other reason? What's your number one challenge if we remove rejection, or fear of rejection? Why you wouldn't make these next 50 calls? So it's not phone numbers, it's not rejection. What else? Paul, go ahead.
My time has been extremely limited, just to kind of give a little background, but I really like negotiation classes. That's an area of weakness for me. And yesterday and the day before, there was 2. It was a 2-day course, and my whole point, though, the presenter is a tough cookie in a certain way, but at the very beginning of the class, we had to do interactions on timers and stuff, which frustrates me, but that's real life where you've got 2 minutes with a pre-assigned. And she said, the key thing that a lot of people don't do, and this is for all of us, is to trust yourself. I know that there are not any snakes in this room, and we had to participate in some activity where you're working with somebody being snaky, and then you also had to play a part where you're being a snaky. Well, the whole thing, coming back to your point, Jonathan, what's the holdup? Most people are afraid that they're going to screw up. Get over yourself and move forward. I had to write it down to remind myself that I like to be a bit of a perfectionist. You see me constantly writing notes. And the thing is you just get in it, trust yourself. You're going to make a mistake, like you said, until somebody says something negative, but you never know. I've had other people turn around and say, wow, you really care. And that's the one resounding thing that I hear in Brad's stuff, is that he's there for the long term. People might have a bad day. You just caught them at a bad time. Always be patient, understanding, and maintain calm. Anyway, but the key thing is that just know we're going to make a mistake. We're not perfect. And just make the call. And know that your heart's in the right place when you do make the call. So anyway, I'll take myself off.
No, that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Those are really good points. I want to address a couple other comments from Diane. She's saying, having the probate knowledge to answer all the questions. Okay, let me talk about that for a second. If you're brand new to this, that's a really great concern to have, because you want to be of service, right? You want to make sure you can answer all the questions. But guess what? They're not going to answer all the questions at once. They're going to answer your questions. They're going to answer their questions, and hopefully you know the answers to most of them. But the thing is, when you're on the phone call with them, you want to get them to talk. You want to be the one to have the most questions. The more questions you ask, the more you find out. But let's go back to Diane. Your point is valid. Well, and then I'd love to hear from others that have been doing this for a while. Like if you're on the phone with a PR and the PR says, well, what should I do with this paper or that paper? Or I said, well, I'm not an attorney and I can't give you legal advice, but from what I've seen so far, from the time you file the petition for probate, it takes about 30 days before you get the letters. And then from that point on, we can start listing a property if that's what you're interested in. So just know your areas of expertise. But also, like, they're not going to ask all the questions all up front, all at the time. That's something that's playing out in your head. And the best way to get over that is start making calls and then see what comes out of it. Just start making the calls, start making the calls, start making the calls. Spencer, you're also new. Good for you. Same thing there with Spencer. Just start making the calls. They're not going to quiz you. They're not going to quiz you. I taught a class in international global advertising at UCLA. It was an UCLA extension, and I knew negotiations, I knew marketing, I knew advertising, but I didn't know it on a global level. The woman that hired me, she said, look, I think you'd be really great at it, and I think for some reason she thought it'd be great. I was like, yeah, you know what, it'll be fun. I've never done it, never taught at that level, and I could use the money. And I said, let's do it. And I walked away. She goes, here's your book. She goes, remember, you just have to be, a chapter ahead of the students. I go, what? She goes, you just have to be a chapter ahead of the students and you're good. You're the expert. Guys, you have been certified in probate real estate. You watch over, 10 videos and 8 hours worth of stuff, whether it's live with Mike and Molly or online. You've been to coaching. You do this thing with me. You guys are ahead of everybody else. The PR does not know what they don't know. And that's where you come in. You know the timeline. So, hey, I have a timeline for you. So you know what to expect coming up over the next 90 days. Can I send it to you? Hey, I have a book that I can send you. For those of you that are UPLC, I have a book I can send you. Would you like that? Because I imagine it's overwhelming now. There's so many variables happening. Let me send that to you. I understand it's frustrating. I understand it can be overwhelming and anxiety provoking. I get it. That's what I'm here for. I have all the resources we need to successfully conclude this for you, right? Let's see, other question. And also Peter's right on, he says, I don't know, I'm not sure about this question that you're asking me, but let me find out. Okay, can I call you back in 15 minutes? Can I call you back tomorrow? Any other questions that you have before we meet? Or you can say, you know what, I don't have the answer for that right now, but I'll have it by the time we meet. So is Monday okay, good for you? So turn it around to turn it around for an appointment opportunity. Martine is concerned about other agents sending the same letters. Valid concern, of course, right? But we also know that people go through mails, go through mailers, and then they just go through and go through and go through. And then some agents are going to drop off. Some are not going to follow up. It's the ones that follow up over time that are going to get the listings. Okay, so don't overthink it. Just keep reaching out with a sense of like, I'm here to contribute, here to help. I really want to make sure that you and your grandmother's estate, or whatever the situation may be, actually get settled as fast as possible. Whatever is important for you, I'll make that my mission. Let's see here. Diana's asking, how often should you reach out? I would say once a week. You know, you send a letter, you send a mailer, you send a postcard, you send them something, then you call them. Then you call them again a week later. If they say, call me back in, you know, in a month, you call them back 2 weeks later. Always cut it in half. That's what Brad teaches us. Always cut it in half. You know, so now's not a good time. Oh, is that Saturday better? Yeah, I guess. Okay, 2 o'clock. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Call me at 2. You call them at 2. If they don't remember who you are, that's the game. They're just trying to get you off the phone because they didn't hear much of value on the first call. But now you're on with them again, right? Say, hey, I just want to make sure you got the book that I sent you. What book? Oh, okay, yeah, I emailed you this book, The 7 Biggest Mistakes, or whatever it is that you send out. Have some reason to stand out from the crowd. So I would say once a week is a good time. Unless they say, we don't know what we're doing for the next 3 months, call them in 1 month, you know? Also, depending on what state they're in and county they're in, it depends on how fast the process. Like I know Texas moves really fast, LA County moves slow, but now with a lot of courthouses being closed, things do tend to move slower overall, you know. Last thing I want to say is, for those of you that feel brave and want to take it one step further, within those 50 calls, remember I have notes here, right? I know who said yes to the 50 calls. For those that said 50 calls, I want to, for those of you feeling extra brave, want a little bit of bonus points, by next week, reach out to some attorneys. Simple script. Hi, my name is Tony, and I was wondering, would it be okay? Are you open to referral business? What kind of business? Well, it has to be probate. I'm a certified probate real estate specialist. I work in this area, and I noticed your name coming up on a lot of cases that I've worked. For example, this one, case number blah, 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 of such and such a state. Well, I'm not calling about that state. I'm just calling to introduce myself to you and let you know that my referral sources often end up giving me situations or people that don't have an attorney. They're doing it in pro per, use the jargon, they're doing it in pro per, and they realize they're in over their head. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it gets pretty complicated. Anyways, would it be okay with you if I send you referrals? Yes, of course, that'd be great. Okay, would you be open to maybe grabbing coffee or something next week so I know who I'm referring to? So now you're starting to think about how you can refer business to attorneys, and then keep them in mind. Don't go out and plaster the whole city with and cold calling attorneys. Just pick 2, 3, take the time it takes, see if there's a rapport, see if you get along with them, go have coffee. And if you don't feel safe, then don't have coffee, then just have a video chat with them, introduce them to you, to yourself to each other, and then move on from there. So that's the bonus one, because attorneys can become great referral sources, right? And I would encourage you to think about developing those referral sources over time. Lastly, before we finish for today, how many of you were on the class I did when we broke down the income calculator? Like, if you want to make, say, $100,000, we broke it down to exactly how many calls you made. Okay. How many of you have been using it? How many of you have been, so Tony had it, Paul had it, I think, yeah. Tony, so tell us, what's it been like? Was it able to give you like perspective on and give you some sense of guidance, like why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, it helps a lot, and see that I can reach my goal without spending all my time calling and knocking doors and such. So
So what I'm here, I have a hard time here. So what you're saying is you reach your goal without spending all your time on it, but you reached your goal basically.
No, I have not reached my goal, but it shows me that I can reach my goal more easily than I thought I could.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this income calculator is on youtube.com/ProbateData. Go through our videos. There's a video dedicated to how to figure out your activity needed to reach your income goal. And it's pure math. It just breaks it down line by line, exactly what you need to do. So if you want to make $250,000, it tells you how much you want. If you want to make $100,000, how much you need to do. And there's no two ways about it. Like, this is what I got to do. But you got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. And if you're brand new to real estate, brand new to probate, brand new to real estate, you just got your license, it's still hot off the press. You have no prospecting history. You don't know your numbers from Adam, then go to your broker and say, hey, what are good average numbers in terms of like calls to appointment set to listings, and listings to escrow, and escrow to close. This will make sense when you see the calculator. So Diana said, I think you were brand new, but I don't know if you're brand new to real estate or just brand new to probate. That's it, guys. I really want to thank you for being patient today, because we had some hiccups along the way. I'm in Paris, and I can't believe that Paris has a Wi-Fi problem. Maybe that's a business opportunity. I don't know. Martine, we need to talk to these people over here. This can't be right.
Yep, we do. Sorry about that.
I'm actually using off my cell phone right now. It's a lot better than the high-speed Wi-Fi that we're using here in this home. But thank you for being patient. I really appreciate you all for showing up. I appreciate you all for showing up and supporting each other the way you do. I'm always very humbled by how everyone just shows up and want to deliver value and support each other. And it really makes me quite happy and feel very fulfilled to be part of this community. So keep up the great work. And remember, I know who you are. I know how to reach you. So those of you that committed to your 50, I want to see 50. So we're going to high five next week, okay? Ready? All right. Be well, stay safe, and wash those hands, my friends. See you soon. Bye.
Enjoy.
See you, John.
See you.